Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you're having a great day. I am Hannah, aka the Paperback Bruncher, and I'm trying out something a little bit different today, and you couldn't tell. I've been taking tennis lessons now for a couple weeks, and it is my new favorite thing. A little bit of backstory on me is the way I grew up very religious, and I wasn't allowed to play competitive sports. So now I feel like at 30 years old, I'm living my best life. I get to play with 3 of my neighbors, and I just have a blast hanging out with them, playing twice a week, and sometimes we even go get brunch after, which is just another part of the things that I love in this world. So it's been a really, really great experience for me, but I wanted to bring a little bit of that energy over to my booktube channel. So I was thinking, since I'm having so much fun with the looks, and I'm always having fun with the books, that I could read a couple different tennis related books. And we're gonna go real soft in the tennis related. This isn't like your how-tos or your manuals. Every single time I finish a book, I will film back here on the court with a new look. So every single time you're gonna get a new book and a new look, and I will link both outfit links and book links down below in case either one strikes your fancy, and if it doesn't, just don't click the link. Also, today's look is very much giving Barbie core. This is a lot of pink for me as someone who stopped wearing pink for years because I just overdid it as a child, but I'm really loving girlhood, girly pop Barbie energy, you know? All right, let's get into the books though. So one thing about me is I am always an overachiever, ambitious girly in all things that I do. And that's gonna include this video. I couldn't really narrow down my selection, so I'm gonna be reading 6 different books that somehow mention tennis. I did poll my Instagram and I got 2 of the answers from you guys, so thank you for those. I'm gonna read them in no particular order. It's Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. I think it just came out as a Peacock movie or show, so perfect timing. Now I can read and watch as I love to do. This is a novel that looks at marriage, siblings, and how the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest. The Delaney family love one another dearly. It's just sometimes they want to murder each other. If your mother was missing, would you tell the police, even if the obvious suspect was your father? This is the dilemma facing the 4 grown Delaney siblings. The Delaneys are fixtures in their community. Their parents, Stan and Joy, are the envy of all of their friends. They're killers on the tennis court, and off of it, their chemistry is palpable. But after 50 years of marriage, they finally sold their famed tennis academy and are ready to start what should be the golden years of their lives. So why are Stan and Joy so miserable? The 4 Delaney children, Amy, Logan, Troy, and Brooke, were tennis stars in their own right, yet as their father will tell you, none of them had what it took to go all the way. But that's okay. Now that they're all successful grown-ups, there is the wonderful possibility of grandchildren on the horizon. One night, a stranger named Savannah knocks on Stan and Joy's door, bleeding after a fight with her boyfriend. The Delaneys are more than happy to give her the small kindness she sorely needs, if that was all she wanted. Later, when Joy goes missing and Savannah is nowhere to be found, the police question the one person who remains, Stan. But for someone who claims to be innocent, he, like many spouses, seems to have a lot to hide. 2 of the Delaney children think that their father is innocent, 2 are not so sure. But as the 2 sides square off against each other in perhaps their biggest match ever, all of the Delaneys will start to re-examine their shared family history in a very new light. Okay, that was a really long synopsis. There's a lot happening. I'm really excited for it, just especially for the book to screen adaptation and that a lot of people are reading it right now. I really love reading along with the hype. Maybe you don't, but I really enjoy that. And this is my first Liane Moriarty book. I do own a couple, and I've watched Big Little Lies already and adored it, but I never read the book. I know that's so blasphemy, but I haven't yet, okay? All right, so that's the first book. The next one is a recommendation from the besties at the Roomies Digest. Thank you, Christine and Mo. This one is 40 Love by Olivia Dade, and I have some other Olivia Dade books, but I haven't yet read this one. From what I gathered, this is in a series, and this is book 2, but it's like same world, different characters, so I'm not gonna go back to book 1 right now to get to book 2. We're just gonna start here. The cover of this one is so cute. I love it so much. When a rogue wave strips Tess Dunn run of her bikini top. Desperate half-naked times call for desperate, please cover me, kids are coming closer measures. Enter Lucas Carlson, aka that flirty Swede in the water nearby. When he prevents her bare buoys from being exposed to fellow vacationers, even an ocean can't drown the sparks that fly. Lucas, a former top-level tennis pro, now giving lessons at the resort, fled there after the abrupt, painful end to his injury-plagued career. But he's finally ready to move on with his life, and after a few late night hands-on sessions with Tess, he's eager to prove he's the ace she wants. But this match comes with challenges. She's 40, and at 26, age gap, he's barely old enough to rent a car. Worse, they only have 2 weeks together before Tess returns to her assistant principal life in Virginia. During that brief time, they'll have to play hard, take a few risks, and find out whether their chemistry is a one-shot wonder or whether they're meant to be doubles partners for life. Oh my god, okay. Okay, that one is serving all of the tennis that we really need. Super tennis themed. I'm very, very excited. The cover is serving so much tennis. I'm very hyped for that. I love Olivia Jade. That's gonna be so much fun. Most of these, I guess, are kind of romance and fiction. I really had meant to squeeze something else in, but these are the ones that just struck my fancy the most. So next up, we have a book that is by the same author of The Devil Wears Prada, Lauren Weisberger, and this is called The Singles Game. A dishy tell-all about a beautiful tennis prodigy who, after changing coaches, suddenly makes headlines on and off the court. Charlie Silver has always been a good girl. She excelled at tennis early, coached by her father, a former player himself, and soon becomes one of the top juniors in the world. When she leaves UCLA and breaks her boyfriend's heart to turn pro, Charlie joins the world's best athletes who travel 11 months a year, competing without mercy for Grand Slam titles and Page 6 headlines. After Charlie suffers a disastrous loss and injury on Wimbledon's center court, she fires her longtime coach and hires Todd Feltner, a legend of the men's tour, who is famous for grooming champions. Hopefully not that kind of grooming. Charlie is his first ever female player, and he will not let her forget it. He is determined to change her good girl image both on the court and off, and transform her into a ruthless competitor who will not only win matches and climb the rankings, but also score magazine covers and 7-figure endorsement deals. Her not-so-secret affair with the hottest male player in the world, sexy Spaniard Marco Vallejo, has people whispering, and it seems like only a matter of time before the tabloids and gossip blogs close in on all the juicy details. Charlie's ascension to the social throne parallels her risk ranking on the women's tour, but at a major price. In this sexy, unput-downable read about young tennis stars who train relentlessly to compete at the highest levels while living in a world obsessed with good looks and Instagram followers, Charlie must discover the secret to having it all, or finally shattering the illusion for good. Next up, we have Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell by Taj McCoy. So this one kept coming up when I would search tennis books, but the cover and the synopsis don't give anything about tennis. And I'm actually mutuals with the author on Instagram, so I decided to shoot my shot, pun intended, and DM her to ask her if the book mentioned tennis literally even once so that I can include it, because I've been dying to read it. And she reported back. So let me read you the synopsis and then I'll show you what she said. A delicious debut rom-com about a plus-size sweetheart who gets a full makeover after a brutal breakup. Savvy Sheldon spends a lot of time tiptoeing around the cracks in her life, her high-stress job and low-thanks job, her clueless boyfriend, and the falling-apart kitchen she inherited from her beloved grandma, who taught her how to cook and how to love people by feeding them. But when Savvy's world starts to crash down around her, she knows it's time for some renovations. Starting from the outside in, Savvy tackles her crumbling kitchen, her relationship with her body, her work-life balance or lack thereof, and last but not least, her love life. The only thing that doesn't seem to require effort is her ride or die squad of friends. But as any home reno show junkie can tell you, something always falls apart during renovations. First, Savvy passes out during hot yoga. Then it turns out that the contractor she hires is the same sexy stranger she unintentionally offended by judging based on appearances. Worst of all, Savvy can't seem to go anywhere without tripping over her ex and his latest upgrade. Savvy begins to realize that maybe she should have started her renovations the other way around, beginning with how she sees herself building a love that lasts. Hi Taj, I was researching books for an upcoming tennis-themed booktube video, and Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell keeps popping up, but the synopsis doesn't say anything about tennis. I'm wondering if there is a tennis element to the book somewhere. I figured I'd just ask you since I'm already in your DMs, and then I can stay spoiler-free. Hi Hannah, yes, one of the Savvy's outlets is that she hired a personal trainer who's a tennis coach to reconnect with a sport she played in high school. It introduces her to some key people, so she frequents the courts in the book, but tennis isn't a major part of the premise. And then I responded, that's more than enough. I just wanted tennis mentioned somewhere and really wanted to feature it in an upcoming video. Thank you. And then she says, LOL, oh for sure, there are several scenes and thank you. And I said, perfect, thanks Taj, you're the best. All right, getting down there, we only have 2 more. I wanted to include one that was very spicy, and judging by this cover, I think it is, but we had to get spicy with it and keep it interesting. This is called The Match by Winter Renshaw. All I wanted was a baby. No daddy, no problem. That's what anonymous donors are for. But when the fertility clinic accidentally sends me a letter addressed to a man whose ID matches my paperwork, I discover my child's father is none other than world-renowned tennis champion Fabian Catalano, famous for his gorgeous face, chiseled abs, and broody wildcard reputation. Only everything changes when the clinic calls us in for damage control, and Fabian drops the bombshell of the century. Turns out the intense Adonis wants to get to know his daughter. So I invite him to stay with us temporarily, ground rules and all. And our arrangement is simple until it isn't. Between 2 a.m. feedings and stolen kisses, my sweet little simple life has taken a very complicated left turn. But oh baby, what happens next is a game changer. That sounds fun. I'm excited. Last but not least, the one that you are all sliding in my DMs to include in this roundup. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you are, because I ask a lot of questions in my stories so that you can weigh in on upcoming booktube videos. But is of course none other than the famous Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read some other books in the TJR multiverse, or whatever we're calling it. I've already read Malibu Rising, so I know a bit about Carrie Soto already, and I'm excited to read this one. For those of us who are unfamiliar with the synopsis, let me read it to you. This is our last book. Carrie Soto is fierce, and her determination to win at any cost has not made her popular. But by the time Carrie retires from tennis, she is the best player the world has ever seen. She has shattered every record and claimed 20 slam titles. And if you ask her, she is entitled to every one. She sacrificed nearly everything to become the best, with her father as her coach. But 6 years after her retirement, Carrie finds herself sitting in the stands of the 1994 US Open, watching her record be taken from her by a brutal, stunning British player named Nikki Chan. At 37 years old, Carrie makes the monumental decision to come out of retirement and be coached by her father for one last year in an attempt to reclaim her record. Even if the sports media says that they never liked the battle axe anyway, even if her body doesn't move as fast as it did, and even if it means swallowing her pride to train like a man she once opened her heart to, Bo Huntley. Like her, she has something to prove before he gives up the game forever. In spite of it all, Carrie Soto is back for an epic final season. In this riveting and unforgettable novel, Taylor Jenkins Reid tells a story about the cost of greatness and a legendary athlete attempting a comeback. Okay, let's get Omar to help with the outfit check. Oh, we got Omar behind the scenes. This is my nice little Wilson tennis racket from Dick's Sporting Goods. And we added the tape, so apparently we're learning that this is supposed to help me with grip, and also I get really clammy hands, so that's supposed to help with that, which is cool. For Christmas, I got a pack of Lululemon scrunchies, and this actually matches perfectly, which is super cool. The dress is like a 2-piece thing. I don't know, this is attached. It's from Free People, and it has little shorts, and then this is one of the posture correcting sports bras. It doesn't look as cute in the back, but I need some support. This is from Form or Formy, how would you say it? Form?
I don't know.
From Form. I have it in black too. It seems to work. I'll report back on that. And then we've got Nike shoes, socks. These are not court approved tennis shoes, but they are cute and they're comfy. And that's the fit. Nice. Okay, so I just finished my tennis lesson this morning, and more importantly, I finished my first book of this series. Started with 40 Love by Olivia Dade. The audiobook was about 10 hours. I was able to listen to it on almost 2x speed, so I just sped through it. The narrator is Kelsey Navarro, and I really liked her. Like, I would definitely read more romance by her. She wasn't cheesy at all. She spoke very naturally, and she was super funny, so I really enjoyed her narration of the book. In general, I think I'm gonna rate this one in between like 4 and 5 stars. It was super cute. I really enjoyed the banter between the two characters. I haven't really read an age gap where she is the older one, so that was really fun. She is a assistant principal trying to be a principal of a school, and he is a former tennis pro turned potential coach, and their dynamic is super fun. There was so much tennis in this book, so I really enjoyed that. There's a lot of cute sayings and like game set match type thing, like the title of this book, 40 Love, because she's in her 40s. I feel like they just played off the punniness of tennis terms very well. So that was really fun, but it wasn't cheesy. Maybe that's just because the narration was done well. I might have found it cheesier if I was reading like the physical book. But I really enjoyed it, and like I said, the banter between the two of them was super sweet. And I feel like Lucas, the main character, is very much giving man written by a woman in the best of ways. And also, between Olivia Dade and Suzanne Collins, they are making us like blonde men, which is hilarious because this man is Swedish, and she even kind of pulls off a bit of a Swedish accent at times. It's super well done. I really enjoyed his character. As far as the spiciness scale goes, I would say it's about a 4 out of 5. It's not the full-blown erotica, but it is pretty spicy. I mean, if you couldn't tell by the synopsis and their meet cute in the ocean where she's literally has her naked chest pushed up against him in the waves because she's trying to make sure she doesn't accidentally expose herself to some children that are coming this way because her bikini top fell off. Like, I feel like that just set the tone of the book. Like, you knew it was gonna get a little spicy, it was gonna be a little fun. I get that the age gap was a really big part of this book, but my one gripe is that like they really mentioned her age a lot, but also at the same flip side, I feel like that would be a real fear. If you were a 40-something-year-old woman dating a 20-something-year-old man, you would be really concerned about your age, so it didn't feel like forced into the story or anything like that. So it didn't feel like forced into the story or anything like that. I just, in particular, was kind of overhearing it, but I get it. So that was 40 Love by Olivia Dade. Highly recommend. I didn't read the first book like I mentioned in the series, but I don't feel like I was lost at any point in time. She did have a best friend character who maybe is going to be in another book. I'm not really sure, but after reading this one, I would definitely want to go back and read the first one. I wonder if it's like another sports romance or what exactly kind of ties them together. So I'm curious to find out. But next up, I am going to be reading Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty, because I want to kind of switch up a bit from the romance, and I'm hoping to read it in the next 2 days because I have lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that way after my next lesson, after my next fit, I have another book to talk to you about. Let's go for the fit check. We are filming this part on the pickleball court because people are going to go play tennis on the tennis courts after this, so I didn't want to disturb anyone who needed to play actual lessons with my booktube video. So we are filming on a pickleball court, but I do think it looks cute. All right, here's our fit check. So this is a one piece that comes with built-in shorts, and it has like this tie. This is from Free People. I like it. It is a little bit short, and I wish the shorts were not built in, but it has double pockets on both sides for tennis balls, which is great. Socks, Adidas, shoes, Nike, headbands, Amazon in a pack. This sports bra is also old and from Nike. All right, besties, see you in the next clip. Welcome back to the second clip. I have finished my second tennis related book. I finished reading Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. This is my first Leanne book, and I definitely want to try more because I have more and it was good, but it was really, really slow. I am glad that I did the audiobook so I was able to speed it up, but I will say it took forever. And I mean, an elderly mother that's missing is interesting, but like it's not that juicy. So just, they really had to add to the drama to keep the story going. I really liked the mysterious addition of the character Savannah and hearing more about her, but all in all, it wasn't really my favorite, but it was fun. I would say it was probably a solid 3-star read for me, but I am very, very, very excited to check out the show. I think it's a show, not a movie. I'll find out. Let's do a little outfit check. I do feel like the visor looks a little weird still. I haven't worn it before, and I don't know if it's because it's like a one size, but the brim is really big, which is really practical, but it does look a little funky. Got a Lacoste dress. It comes with a little Lacoste shorts. For the hair, I tried to do like little braids in the back for the baby hairs. So it's braided up, ponytail, another braid into a bun. It's pretty cute. See you in the next clip and the next fit. Hey, let's frame this. Congrats on making it to the next clip. I have quite the update for you today. And I am not just talking about my freaking tennis game, because that is also improving. I have read so many tennis books. I started a new tennis show on Netflix. I am in my Wimbledon era, okay? Okay. So let's just dive right in and get into the first book. Let's not mess around, okay? Let's open Storygraph. She is a Storygraph girly. Started watching The Breakpoint, I think it's called, on Netflix, and this actually follows real characters, real people, real athletes who play tennis. So now I'm learning about the sport more in a new way. I'm learning how like the scoring system works and all of these things, and I wish I would have started it even sooner, because I feel like having more context to reading all of these tennis books would have mattered to me. I would have just enjoyed them more, knowing a bit more about the sport. Like, I'm still learning how the scoring system works and how to properly play a game and what Wimbledon is and what a Grand Slam is. So if I would have had more of this background information that I'm learning now before reading all of these books, I think they would have hit a little harder. But that being said, I don't really feel like with any of these books you need to know anything about tennis to enjoy them. Next, this cover is so cute. This is The Singles Game by Lauren Weisberger. She is the author of The Devil Wears Prada. So that's one of those books that I bought like thrifting. It's been on my shelf for years. Never read it. However, the movie, so good, so good. Miranda Priest's character. Meryl fucking Streep, you know? Anne Hathaway. Emily Blunt. I still can't believe that's Emily Blunt, you know? Just different era. So good. Classic. Timeless movie. That being said, so I have seen that movie countless times, and I'm assuming it's hopefully pretty true to the original book. And if so, this author kind of has a style / formula she follows in the book. As I was reading The Singles Game, I felt like a lot of the elements that I've seen in The Devil Wears Prada showed up in this book. The main character is like a very ambitious, workaholic type young woman. She is trying to get her bag and her status, and she kind of is okay with stepping on toes to get there. There is kind of a man pining after her in the wings who's very sweet that we're rooting for, that she just doesn't seem to be paying attention to. There's like a snarky side character who is a bit of a rivalry. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of those types of elements that go in both stories, which I'm here for. I really enjoyed. This story in particular follows our main character, Charlie, which, side note, I love when Charlottes go by Charlie. I think it is so freaking cute. Our main character, Charlie, is this professional tennis player, and she has always been doing really well and been really devoted to her sport and just disciplined, but she's never quite broken into that like top percentage or like become the best of the best. and she feels like she's running out of time because she's getting older, and she is just ready to stop being the nice girl and to just try some new things out on the court and in her personal life and see what sticks and what gets her to top of that leaderboard. So she ends up overhauling her entire image. She gets a new team, a new manager, she's going on all these new events, and I feel like this one got me caught up in the glitz and the glamour of the tennis industry. So they're talking about Wimbledon and they're talking about Grand Slams, and I just felt like this one was super fun. This is one that I also think would be really well adapted if they did it similar, of course, in the way that like The Devil Wears Prada. Let's just bring Anne Hathaway back in at this point, why not? But it was super fun. I enjoyed how there's a bit of like a lesson in there where it's like, okay, be about yourself and be the best version of you, but like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? There's just a lot of lessons there where will that actually make you happy? It gets a little deep in that sense. I also really like there's like side love stories happening, and it's really fun. That is the main component I took away from this book, is that I found it very fun. I would say, reflecting on it, that I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I was thinking it was gonna be like a solid 3-star. It's probably between like a 3.5 to 4-star, but it didn't get incredibly deep. The character, you don't really, like, it's not just because she's a little unlikable, but like she doesn't get deep, so you don't really root for her one way or the other. And I just wish it had scratched a little bit more beyond the surface level, and for that reason, I'm gonna rank it down to a 3-star. After 2 3-stars in a row, I decided I want something quick, something snappy, I want to have fun, just something I can breeze through and get excited about tennis. And I picked up The Match by Winter Renshaw. This is an author I have heard nothing of. I believe this book is on Kindle Unlimited, which it looks spicy and it looks fun. So I was all about it. I read it literally in a day. And I just really enjoyed the premise of this book. The fact is, it follows this badass woman. I believe she's in her 30s. She's got her shit together. She's got her house. She's got her career. She's got everything. But she wants a baby. And so she goes through a sperm donor through this clinic. And unfortunately, the clinic has a clerical mishap. The clinic ends up messaging her and letting her know some details about who the sperm donor is. She finds out it is a professional tennis player who is so just cool and talented and athletic and beautiful that he is a celebrity at this point. He is very well known, and she doesn't want to do anything with this information. She doesn't want to exploit him or anything like that, but she's very curious, so she is kind of just navigating what to do with that information. And at the same point, then they have to give him a heads up that, hey, this girl now knows about you. And he's like, well, shit, I wanna meet her. And she's like, absolutely not. I don't want to meet him. I just want to live my life with a relationship for years upon years. And she is a very doting and loving girlfriend. She is cooking for her man. She works hard, you know, to pay the bills. She's got her life together for the most part. And right away in the first chapter, he dumps her ass. You got too fat, we're done. I kid you not. So right away, I'm just like seething with hatred for this man. I cannot stand him. I am on Savvy's side. I'm so invested with like how she's gonna pick herself up from this. So now she's dealing with like this extremely high pressure job, of huge breakup. Her whole life is changing, and she decides that she wants to take her life back and get some power back and to feel empowered, but she wants to go about it in the sense of getting a revenge body. And that's where her besties come in, because I loved these side characters so much. They're like, you do not need to get a revenge body. Your body is great the way it is. Like, look at you, girl, you're beautiful. And she's like, no. So she has a lot of self-confidence journeys to go on throughout this book, which I just really enjoyed. There's also a really cute meet cute with the love interest man. I don't want to spoil any of that because I just feel like it's so much fun how it plays out, so I'm not gonna tell you how they meet or anything like that. I will say I really enjoyed his character because it's a very much he falls first, but he's also just so level-headed. Where she's going through such a tumultuous time in her life, he's very even-keeled. He has liked her this entire time, and he thought she was beautiful before any of these changes she's making, and he's just supportive as hell. So I am here for this man, not to mention his job is literally like renovating homes and kitchens, which is hot as fuck. Like, can you imagine getting your home renovated whenever you want? Like, that is dope. So I really liked the love interest. I really liked Savvy's character. Like I said, I really loved the side characters. I haven't read a romance in a while where I've loved the side characters this much. The tennis involvement, as the author had told me, isn't super strong with this one, and that is fine by me. I knew that going in, and all of the previous books were super tennis, like super tennis related. So I was okay with this one having just a bit of tennis. As part of her like glow up journey that she's working on, she decides she used to really love tennis. She's gonna start taking lessons again. She starts taking lessons. She makes friends with the instructor, and there's just like a lot of fun, witty banter that happens with like the tennis instructor and her friends. So I did really enjoy that. It just made tennis feel fun and less serious. So that actually got me really excited to get out and play with friends. Overall, this book is more than what I was expecting. I really enjoyed it. I'm like kind of leaning towards like a 4.5 star rating for this one, but because I'm loving the side characters so much, and overall it just like hits on the sense of like cover, the life lesson, the romance, all of these characters hit so well for me. I'm going to bump it up to a 5 star because you can't half star rating on most of the sites I actually submit my reviews anyways. So that is Savvy Sheldon, Feels Good as Hell, and yes, that is a Lizzo reference. That is hilarious. I love it. I love her outfit. I want that dress. And Taj McCoy actually has another book coming out in April of 2024, and I definitely want to be reading that now. I am going to go request it from my library so that I am first on that holds list. So that just leaves us with one tennis book to finish this series. Oh my god, it's so crazy. So crazy because I feel like it's happened quickly, yet not, I don't know, you know, what are words, what is life? So our last tennis book of this series is Carrie Soto is Back, and I am super excited to read it. Before we sign off for the next clip, let's do a little fit check for today. My foot's asleep. I can't walk. I fully committed to the bubble braids today, and I feel like they turned out pretty cute, and I've been wearing them all day and they've held up pretty well. But the outfit today is very much giving Barbie. It's a dress and socks are matching as part of a set from Alo Yoga. I will say I am a damn fool because I ordered this forever ago, was too shy to wear it. The socks are actually a size large. They don't fit me, so they're a little too big and I have to do the like scrunch method. The dress, I like it, but I've realized some things now that I've worn a handful of tennis pieces. I'm realizing that I like something a little bit shorter. I feel like it looks younger and it's giving a young woman playing tennis as opposed to something a little bit older and more conservative. I definitely like when the shorts are not attached because going to the bathroom is super annoying. This one is just a little too like long here, you know, it's giving me long boobs, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm gonna make this quick before my phone overheats. For today's fit check, this dress is from Aerie. It has this kind of flap, if you will. Super cute, super comfy material. I will say if you don't wear a sports bra underneath it, you will get really bad boob sweat. It's got little shorts that have pockets, and the pockets are big enough for a tennis ball, so that's great. Today I'm not wearing my shoes for tennis just because I just came to walk down here, but these are my On Running shoes, Adidas socks. Now let's talk about this book. So I don't know if it's just me or if this happens to you as well, but for me, when I'm reading books that are super hyped, sometimes it can be really hard to just enjoy it and accept it for what it is. I did a poll on my stories asking everyone if I should read the physical copy or if I should do the audiobook, and most people recommended the audiobook, and I just didn't love the narrator. I'm gonna be honest. She's fine, but like something about it kind of ruined the story for me. However, I did really like how they use different narrators to do like different sportscasters and different news segments. So those parts were super cool. And I loved that it was more of a production. I really was hoping I would love the audiobook more because Daisy Jones is so incredible as an audiobook. And I had a similar feeling to when I had read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's just they're both, this book and that book, are so beloved and people hype them up so much that it can be hard to lower your expectations. That being said, if I had to star rate this book off of the audiobook, it'd be a 4, but I think if I read the physical book, it would be a 5. So for the sake of submitting a rating, I'm just gonna round it up because it is a really incredible book. Now that, of course, Challengers is already out in the world and I was able to watch Challengers, I was able to save this book, which I do think is a bit of the best for last. I really feel like I'm more than ever in my tennis, pop culture, tennis moment era. I'm still really enjoying my lessons. I'm still really enjoying reading tennis stories. I really liked how this book in particular focused a lot more on tournaments and the actual player. I don't know if everyone else would like that, but because I've been playing tennis and learning more about tennis, I really, really liked that. But then again, it might not be for everyone. But I will say, I think I liked Malibu Rising and Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo much more than this book. But I think with both this book and Evelyn Hugo, I will enjoy them more on the reread now that I know what my expectations are. I will say, I liked that Carrie is a little bit of an unlikable character in the sense that she's just this hard ass. She is exactly kind of who she should be to get that far in that type of field and career. So I really enjoyed her character. I enjoyed the bit about the like reluctant love story. I enjoyed the different relationships. And yes, it's just all about tennis. So I don't have much more to say about it than that, but I did really, really enjoy it. I'm getting awkward because someone's like walking by with their dog and they're just staring, and I don't love that for me. It's a great book. I will reread it one day. And like I said, I'm just really loving this series so much. It's been so much fun for me to just put together different tennis outfits, to play more tennis, to talk about tennis, just to like find another interest beyond books, but to combine it with books. And I have an idea for my next video. I don't want to end this series yet. So my next video, I'm still gonna do a bunch of different tennis looks, and I will link them all and share them all in that video as well. But instead of just reading a bunch of different tennis books, I'm gonna read a bunch of different sports romance books. So I'm gonna pick a couple different sports, maybe hockey, maybe basketball, we'll see. Each book is a new look and a new review, so I'm so excited to share that one with you. I've got some fun surprises planned for it. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit subscribe on my channel. It's free. It helps me out so much to support me into trying to make all of this bookish content on all of these platforms be a full-time job. I love books and I'm just trying to make a career out of it. So wish me luck with that. Hit subscribe. If you like this video, definitely tap that like. And if you made it this far to the end of the video, comment down below with the secret emoji, which is a palm tree. Once again, thank you for being here, and I really appreciate you all, friends. I would be curious if you've read any of these same books, or if you have a better tennis recommendation that you think I'll like more that you wish I would have included in this series, because you never know, maybe part 3 will just be more tennis books. I am not done with tennis, and I am not done with tennis books, so I'm always accepting recommendations. All right, bye friends. I will see you in the next video, and may your next read be 5 stars.